So like we talked about in the last video, if your website is your home base, then your Google Business Profile is your front door. This is the listing, the online listing that lets you show up on Google Maps. It helps you appear in the local pack, which is the top 3 results under the map. And then it also lets you collect and display customer reviews, which is a huge, huge part that we'll get into a little bit later. And the kicker with this is that it's free. If you think about that, you can get your business showing up in front of people that are already searching for epoxy floors in your area without paying a dime for ads, just by setting this up correctly. This is ultimately a non-negotiable for a local epoxy contractor. If you don't claim and optimize your profile, you're handing out free leads to the competitors that actually did. So the first step in this obviously is going to be to claim and verify your Google profile. You want to go to business.google.com and click add your business. And you do want to make sure that you're using your actual business name. Don't keyword stuff it with the best epoxy floors in Dallas. Don't put any extra keywords in there. Google hates that. You also want to make sure that you're using a physical address if possible. Even if you work from home, use that for verification, but you do want to hide that. But it does make the verification a lot easier. And for most of you guys, because you don't have a storefront, you need to make sure that you're listing your profile as a service area business. If you don't do this, you won't get approved. And if you do happen to slip through and get approved, you can get your profile shut down. I've had it happen to a couple of epoxy guys, and you don't want to do that. But you don't need a storefront to be listed. Just choose a service area business. And the verification, it usually happens by postcard, which will get mailed to your address, or simply by your phone. But make sure you do this immediately, right? And when you're setting everything up, make sure you actually fill out every section. Google does want to connect users to relevant, completely filled out businesses as well, but businesses that they can rely on and trust that they're relevant. If your profile is half empty, you will not rank as high. And what you want to include is like a good business description, and make sure that you include key phrases like epoxy garage floors, concrete coatings in your city name. But again, you don't want to stuff it with all of that. It can tell and it won't approve you if it thinks that you're trying to stuff the description as well with these keywords. You also want to list your service areas. Since you're a service area business, list all of the cities and towns that you'll actually travel to, but make sure that you try to keep that within, like, not too, don't go to your whole state. That actually messes up your profile. I say about an hour out, an hour drive, an hour or two. If you want to go further than that, use ads. But for the service profile, do not go that far. You maybe want to go as far as like 15 miles, really. Make sure that you set realistic hours as well, and point the Google profile to that shiny new website that you built in step 1. And then make sure you actually add all of the services, whether that's flake epoxy, metallic epoxy, quartz, staining, stamped concrete, whatever it is. Add those services and add the descriptions to those as well. Another thing is adding photos, which you want to make sure are real photos. The businesses with photos actually get more clicks, and I'm not just making that up. You can go and verify this, but make sure that you upload your logo in the proper section where it's asking for your logo. Make sure you upload before and after project photos. Transformations are super gold. And then also do some action shots of like you and your crew working on a job. And then as well, show off your equipment, your grinder, your mixer, and your truck with your logo. All of these things start to kind of separate you from the general contractors that don't have their stuff together versus a professional, like you guys obviously are, right? So if you're just starting and you don't have much project work yet, do a practice floor like I talked about in step 1, or coat your own garage and just document it. And then make sure that your information is consistent everywhere. This is called NAP. NAP stands for name, address, phone number. Your Google profile info, it must match exactly what's on your website, your Facebook page, your Yelp listing, and everywhere else online as well, because Google cross-checks those details. And if there's a bunch of inconsistent info, it equals lower trust, not to your customers, but to Google. And with lower trust from Google, you also rank lower as well. So just a quick pro tip is, if your business is like Super Shine Epoxy LLC, don't list Super Shine Epoxy floors on one site and then Super Shine garage coatings on another, right? Even small things like street versus street should match everywhere. It really is that granular. So whatever's on your Facebook page, make sure that's the same thing that's on your Google page. Make sure that that's the same thing on your Yelp page. All of it needs to be exactly the same, down to if you put ST instead of spelling out street, it needs to be the same everywhere. And another pro tip is to actually connect your Google Search Console. Once your profile is verified or before it, you can go one step further and actually add your website to Google Search Console. And this tells Google that this website and this business profile actually belong together. And it helps your site index faster as well and improves your local visibility, right? And then this is just a pro level move that most epoxy contractors skip, which is actually uploading a photo of yourself or your team with your equipment or a freshly completed floor. And this is because people want to hire people, not faceless companies. When they see your face and your logo in the same shot, it instantly starts to build that trust, right? And so this is why I push so hard on the Google profile with my clients. Most customers will find you on Google before they find your website. Your reviews live right there. When someone says, I'll check you out, they're going to Google you and they're scanning for that star rating, right? And then the local pack as well, that top 3 search results. If somebody types in epoxy garage floor and you show up in the top 3, that is one, going to generate a lot of traffic, but the leads that are coming in are also high converting leads. Those people that click on the map listings are ready to buy. They're looking for somebody to provide that service. They're not just browsing. They're not just shopping around, right? And when your competitors pop up with 20 plus 5-star reviews and you don't even have a verified profile, you've already lost that lead, right? And once your profile is live, you want to go ahead and start posting updates consistently. Google, like Facebook and Instagram, they let you share posts. It's almost like a mini blog entries essentially, but you can use it for before and afters. You can use it to announce promotions or just to share tips. And this keeps your profile fresh and active, and Google loves the activity, right? So the bottom line here is that your Google business profile is free real estate in the most valuable spot on the internet, the top of search results. Right. Neglecting it is not just lazy, it's actually crazy, and it's leaving money on the table, something that you don't want to do.